Hi. We're here to talk about Eve Goldberg.
Let me rise in the morning, feel the joy in living. Let me open my heart like a flower unfolds.
I did an Artist in the Schools program in that high school with those kids, including Eve. And so that was the first time we really worked together. And, so for this whole span of her life that I've known her, which is the biggest part of it, she has always had this wonderful quality where it's like if something needs to be done, she would say, well, let's do that. Let's try and get it done.
In 1996, I got together with three other reprobates, Grit Laskin, Ken Whiteley, and Paul Mills, and we began a record company called Borealis. And Eve became our first manager at the company, which essentially meant she did everything, While we sat back and hummed and hawed about who we would sign next.
I always somehow got involved in organizing things or, helping out in different ways besides just wanting to be a performer. I just wanted to be around the music and help make the music happen and help foster good spaces for people to make music and that kind of thing.
Our first choice, when we were starting Borealis, who would be better to run our office than Eve was kind of the universal feeling, and we were so happy when she agreed to do it.
And so it was a really great place for me to learn and grow and make connections with people, and I was able to keep playing music sort of on the side. At a certain point, I realized I don't think I can keep a full-time job and try to do music. So that's the point when I decided, okay, I think I'm ready to move on now,
It's not just that she does things, but she says, how could we do this better? So whether that is organizing an event like the Woods, or organizing her ukulele classes, or being a performer, being a performing artist.
And very soon we saw this talent of Eve Goldberg, and she became one of the operating group of the Woods Music Camp, which was Canada's oldest adult folk music camp, and she helped us for decades. She was part of the team. It was great.
There's been so many examples of times where Eve has just been willing to pitch in and time again and do a great job when she is doing it. This needs to be done, then let's do it.
Well, the thing that I would say about Eve is that she's one of the people who realizes that folk music is, yes, it's about the music, but it's about community. And those things are equally important, or some people think the community is even more important. And Eve was one of those people who was very, very much involved in the community aspects of the music that we all love.
And it's also a way that we connect to each other, and it can be transformative personally, but also socially transformative. It can really change the world.
I've known her for over 15 years, and I feel like I'm still learning something. We'll be having a conversation. Oh, I helped found Arts Can Circle. What? I just am learning all these things over time. And she just spends her time. She doesn't talk about it. She just spends her time and energy on what she thinks is important, which is fostering musical community.
I did know Estelle, and I was lucky enough to get to know her a few years before she died, so maybe like 3 or 4 years before she passed away. One day she called me up and she said, do you know this guy Mike Stevens? And I said, well, yeah, we're putting out one of his albums, and I'd just been starting to get to know him. And she was like, I want to talk to him. I heard him interviewed on the radio. I think what he's doing is amazing. I want to help.
And you know what? You were there right from the very beginning with Arts Can Circle. I think you were at the first meeting with Estelle, actually. And I can only imagine the smile on Estelle's face, knowing that you're getting this award.
She was one of the founders of the Common Thread Community Chorus.
We decided to start folk music choir or chorus.
And I was like really attracted to that idea, and my partner Ellen and I, both of us, we were like, that is so cool. And it's kind of like Song Circle, no audition, so everybody's welcome. And then you create an environment where people can learn and get better, and you sing music that's like social justice oriented, community oriented.
In 1999, that's when Common Thread Community College of Toronto started.
We were just kind of making stuff up as we went along, and we were really fortunate to find Isabel Bernaus, the conductor, who's still the conductor of Common Thread.
Decided to start a choir, a social justice choir. So that was really right at the heart of what Eve does as well, with her music and her care for the community. It was a community choir. It was bringing worlds together to give shape to that, to a folk choir. And I think that's a big part of her contribution, and Sue Goldberg's, of course, and the family.
Not only is she a fabulous musician, but I'm sure other people have told you this, she is an extraordinary teacher. And her gift is really she's super generous and organized and shares in a really complete way, and she's just one of the most wonderful teachers. And to be able to teach alongside of her, as I've been able to do a few times over the last few years, becomes this education for me as well. Like, this is how you teach.
People loved it when she taught beginning guitar, because she was such a good, caring teacher. Everybody left that workshop series with some knowledge, with some ability that they doubted they'd ever have in the space of only 4 or 5 days at a music camp. But they left with skills. She's a natural teacher.
I found out I could join my local in Toronto, but I also started running into Local 1000, which was this non-geographic local of traveling musicians that was kind of a different thing within the Musicians Union. I was a member for 20 years without really being seriously involved, and then I was asked if I would serve on the board and be the Canadian Vice President.
And of course, she's not only went on to be the Canadian Vice President, but she went on to, in fact, become the President of Local 1000, and the first Canadian President of that local. And so it's been just great that she's not only run with it, but she's taken it to new heights. The whole idea of making harmony is so fundamental to who Eve is, because it's about creating harmony whether we are singing together or whether we are working together, whether we're a community together. It's about creating that sense of harmony. It's about creating this whole that's bigger than the sum of its parts. And Eve is someone who really gets that, and it's beautiful in all of the ways that it manifests.
Eve has such an amazing background in traditional music, and music that really speaks to her. She can sing it from the heart. She can sing it unaccompanied beautifully as well.
Eve, comes from a family where there's intergenerational social activism and intergenerational singing of folk music. She's really steeped in it.
I think over the years, at different points, I've been involved in different ways, and sometimes I pulled back and could just kind of been more focused on music rather than the activism. But your beliefs always come into your music anyway. You can't keep them out, really.
Honestly, there are very few people who I can listen to nonstop forever, and Eve is one of them. Such a beautiful voice, always choosing exactly the right song for her voice and for what she believes in, but also she just has a real gift.
Boy, you can hear it in her own voice sometimes in her singing. She's got all these wonderful different colors, and I think it comes from, she spent some quality time listening to great old blues singers.
How does it feel to sing harmony with Eve? She's a beautiful singer, and when our voices are together, it feels amazing. I never want to stop singing with Eve. Yeah.
The total person that she is about the music and the community and doing things for others.
I know that her mom would be incredibly proud of her and was always proud of her. But her mom, of course, was a real fan of Eve.
Eve, congratulations on this award. You know, you've always stood for fairness and equality and inclusion and building community, as well as being an absolutely killer musician and a great friend.
You know, in addition to all her amazing qualities as a musician, I'm gonna get a little verklempt. She's a damn fine human. And that's something that, you know, I think that just comes out again and again. She's a great friend. She listens, she talks, and she's there. She's there for her friends. And that's, Eve.